Waskita Karya trims its contract target up to 26 trillion rupiah. Good afternoon, viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of informations from business, economic, and capital market sectors. With me, Clara Antawidjaja, and this is Market Headlines. And yes, viewers, we are going to start market headlines by looking at the Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. So JCI opened at level of 5,091.77, and then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 5,100.68, and then the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. The index was closed at the level of 5,166.66. In short, JCI was strengthening at 0.66%. And next, we are going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got mining as the leader of the strengthening trend, going up 1.91%. Trade went up 1.51%. And as the leader of the weakening trend, we got basic industry that went down 2.15%, and manufacture that went down 0.55%. And as the top gainers in today's trading, here's the list of the stock for you. We got MDKA with a value that went up 8.45%. We got UNTR with a value that went up 7.97%. We got PSAB with a value that went up significantly by 19.47%. And BMRI with a value that went up 4.91%. Meantime, for the top losers of today's trading, we got KLBF with a value that went down 1.27%. We got ICBP with a value that went down 1.91%. And then we got BRPT with a value that went down 6.81%. And WSKT with a value that went down 5.63%. Next, we are going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at level of 14,605. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trends towards US dollar. I was closed at the level of 14,575. In summary, rupiah was strengthening at 0.2%. SOE in the construction sector, Waskita Karya decided to revise contracts target in 2020. The company trimmed its target as much as 25 up to 26 trillion rupiah.
SOE in construction sector, Waskita Karya decided to revise contracts target in 2020. The company trims its target as much as 25 up to 26 trillion rupiah, from initial target at 45 up to 50 trillion rupiah. Senior Vice President Corporate Secretary of Waskita Karya, Sastia Hadiarti, said that the company is ready to participate in infrastructure projects such as roads and bridges. On the other hand, she revealed that the company has obtained 4.37 trillion rupiah new contracts until June 2020, while toll road construction project dominated the company's contracts realization. Meantime, the company projects new contracts in 2020 to reach 25 up to 26 trillion rupiah, while infrastructure projects such as toll roads, railways, and dams are the main company's focus. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Amidst COVID-19 pandemic, fuel distributor AKR Corporindo has successfully achieved revenue and net profit growth.
Amidst COVID-19 pandemic, fuel distributor AKR Corporindo has successfully achieved revenue and net profit growth. Based on financial report, AKR Corporindo or AKRA obtained net profit as much as 431.57 billion rupiah, or increased by 10.44% year-on-year. The higher company's net profit was supported by revenue that up by 2.98% to 10 trillion rupiah from the previous year realizations at 9.7 trillion rupiah. The revenue was mainly contributed by the trade and fuel distribution segment that reached 7.36 trillion rupiah, or inclined by 8.08% year-on-year. The contributions of trade and fuel distribution segment hit 73.6% of total revenue in the first half of 2020. Not only obtained revenue and net profit growth, Agra has also successfully minimized its cost of revenue. In the financial report, Akra's cost of revenue only up by 1.24% year-on-year to 8.98 trillion rupiah. The growth of cost is relatively smaller than the company's revenue growth. From all sources for IDX Channel.
Stay tuned to market headlines because we will be right back after this quick break.
Industri pertambangan, saya melihat bahwa ya ini industri yang kalau dibilang unik ya. Resiko dan hasil itu tidak selalu sejalan. Kita sulit untuk mendapatkan ada penambang-penambang muda yang baru dan yang mau datang ke hutan untuk ketok batu lah. Istilahnya ketok batu untuk mencari tahu apakah ada tambang di sana. Efisiensi itu sesuatu yang harus selalu diperhatikan ya. Semua pengeluaran itu harus reasonable.
Welcome back to Market Headline. Continuing rise in coronavirus cases lead pessimism on quick rebound, and central bank projects economy to see U-shaped recovery from the impact of the pandemic.
Coronavirus pandemic took a greater toll than previously expected. Desri Damayanti, as the Bank of Indonesia Senior Deputy Governor, told an online seminar Indonesia had not yet seen a peak of infections, undermining central bank expectations of slower than expected recovery. Bank of Indonesia at the beginning of the pandemic had predicted a V-shaped recovery, but however, with the development in cases continuing to rise, this makes it unlikely that there will be 100% relaxations of coronavirus-related restrictions. It will be gradual, and it means the economy cannot recover quickly. From all sources for IDX Channel.
And yes, viewers, COVID-19 pandemic hit all countries' economy. Some countries, even with a big economy, even got into recessions like South Korea and Singapore. But as there is the ease of lockdown nowadays, there is a chance for economies to bounce back again through the economic recovery. And when we talk about economic recovery, of course, everyone is longing to have a sharp, quick, and sustained recovery. And therefore, right now, live by Zoom, we are going to have a deeper discussions regarding economic recovery in Indonesia with the Chief Economist of Permata Bank, Joshua Pardede. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hi, Clara. I'm fine. How are you too?
Yeah, me too. In the midst of pandemic, all is well?
Yes, for sure.
Yes,
I'm good.
sir. Of course, we are longing for having a V-shaped recovery in the midst of pandemic. But however, there's a statement from the central bank that Indonesia would likely to have U-shaped recovery instead. So do you think that the statement from central bank is relevant enough?
Yeah, I think I agree with the BI statement that Indonesian economic recovery will be U-shaped rather than V-shaped, because until now, I think we are still struggling with the spread out of COVID-19 virus, and we haven't yet reached the peak, or we still haven't flattened the curve of the COVID-19 cases. And on the other, moreover, also, I think the speed of acceleration of economic policy stimulus also still relatively slow than our expectation, meaning that we still expect that the economic recovery will still happen in the late of third quarter, and will likely work further in the fourth quarter, because we know that the global economy is still seen contracted. For example, like South Korea and Singapore already down to recession, and I think we are still struggling to attract investment and also to boost the export performance in the short term.
So do you think that, you mentioned before that Singapore and South Korea are right now in the recessions, do you think that Indonesia have a chance to have recessions as well?
Yeah, I think from the structure of the economy, Indonesian economy structure, still relatively driven by domestic consumption compared to Singapore and also South Korea, which their economies are dominantly driven by the export performance and also service sectors. I think we are still a step better than Singapore's and South Korea. But in the sense that I think government also needs to speed up or accelerate the absorption of the economic policy stimulus on the healthcare and also social safety net, and also to spur to support the small medium enterprises, industries or industries, in order to speed up to maintain the purchasing power of domestic. Basically, I think that's the recipe for economic policy in the short term. If the government wants to keep the economic growth still remain positive.
Of course, sir. Yes, government is trying to keep up our economy through many ways. And right now, sir, government is now making a new COVID-19 handling committee and also National Economic Recovery Committee. What do you think about the new structure?
I think the government wants to strengthen the coordination between the COVID-19 management and also team, and also in order, along with the implementation of the economic recovery policies, which already indicated that the number is already almost 700 trillion, the total stimulus. So I think on the one hand, I think this is the good team. I think this is the complete to strengthen the coordination. And then the second one, I think it will improve the speed up of acceleration in the absorption of the stimulus. So we can see that the new team, I think, will likely to support the COVID-19 management and to accelerate the economic recovery programs in the short term.
Yes, sir. When we talk about economic recovery, back again, government makes several ways to avoid economic consequences of COVID-19. But one thing to be underlined is that government is trying to join forces between central bank and also Ministry of Finance through burden sharing scheme. What do you see in this burden sharing scheme?
Yeah, I think burden sharing scheme between Bank Indonesia and Ministry of Finance is needed to prevent high burden of government's interest payment. Without burden sharing scheme, I think the interest payment proportion in state budget would significantly increase, at least for the next 5 years. So higher proportion of, and then also a high proportion of the interest payment in state budget will decrease also the fiscal space. And also the next, also it will reduce the effectiveness of the government spending. So through this scheme, I think the debt burden of government are expected to be reduced in the near term. However, even with the burden sharing scheme, the government still needs to increase its revenue after pandemic is over, in order to increase the capacity of state budget.
Of course, sir. And through this burden sharing scheme, does it attract foreign investors?
Yeah, because earlier maybe the foreign investors still concerned, whether the burden sharing scheme will last till when. But I think the government and also Bank Indonesia already confirmed that the burden sharing scheme will happen only in this year. So meaning that by that, I think the fiscal burden or fiscal space of government of Indonesia, I think will be improving beyond 2020, and I think it is also effective, to maintain our ratings government debt, because in the last time S&P or Moody's still concerned with the government's burden with the government's burden interest payment compared to tax revenues. So by this burden sharing scheme, we hope that the condition of the burden of interest payment will be easing, and the rating agencies still maintain the rating of Indonesian government of Indonesia rating. So we hope that it still attracts foreign investors going forward by either in the portfolio investment and also in foreign direct investment.
Yes, sir. We hope nothing but the best for our economic recovery, so undergo a very normal, and we hope that we will have a V-shaped recovery and as soon as possible. Thank you, sir, for your time with us.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Stay tuned on market headlines because we will be right back after this quick break. Pemirsa, sudah minum kopi belum?
Kita pikir kenapa sih di Indonesia ini nggak ada kopi dengan kualitas yang bagus tapi dengan harga yang murah. Kita memastikan raw material yang kita pakai pun adalah yang kualitinya yang tinggi, yang kita sendiri approve. Kita tuh negara kelima terbesar konsumsi kopi. 87% dari populasi itu masih konsum kopi dalam sasetan.
Ada rencana untuk IPO nggak, Pak?
Kepada seluruh pemirsa untuk menyaksikan terus IDX Channel saluran referensi untuk bisnis dan berinvestasi di Indonesia.
Adi akan ada proyek bikin hunian atau tempat tinggal?
Konsepnya adalah membawa kemudahan masyarakat sekitar Jakarta untuk bekerja di pusat kota. Total saat ini Adi Komputer Property mengembangkan 11 titik ya. Kalau Mas baru beli sekarang mungkin udah ke 3.000 sekian pembeli.
Kita bisa mulai merasakan fase 1 di tahun berapa?
Di tahun 2021.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. To ease people for using crossing port, government through state-owned enterprises ASDP Indonesia Vary Persera has launched online ticketing application.
Minister of State-Owned Enterprises and Ministry of Transportation just established online ticket applications to buy crossing ticket in Merak Executive Terminal. The application is named as VaryZ. Minister of State-Owned Enterprises, Eric Thohir, hoped that this online application's VaryZ can give ease on consumers and change booking behavior from previously queuing to online reservation.
Kita hadir di sini bukan event seremonial, tetapi kita hadir di sini tidak lain karena ingin memastikan bahwa jajaran kami mempunyai dua prinsip yang sama ini, memudahkan dan melayani. Khususnya hari ini tentu ASDP. Ya, saya rasa brandnya saja sudah very easy. Nah, ini sudah tercerminkan bagaimana memudahkan dan melayani harus menjadi hal keseharian buat kita semua.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Transportation, Budi Karya Sumadi, said the provisions of online ticket purchasing services has been a concern for a long time. For a long time, Indonesian sport have to make long lines to queue.
Saya bahagia sekali bahwa kemajuan yang pesat yang diberikan oleh ASDP hari ini. Karena IT adalah satu keniscayaan yang harus kita alami. Dan kita selalu menghadapi banyak masalah-masalah di hari-hari puncak. Dan dengan cara ini insya Allah akan lebih lancar.
These online ticketing can be accessed via website and also via mobile application. Jakarta, Riki Anwardi for IDX Channel.
Indonesia's government will launch a loan guarantee program for non-SME and non-SOE corporations. The government reveals that the total funds for guarantee program to reach 100 trillion rupiah.
Indonesian government to launch loan guarantee program for non-SME and non-SOE corporations. Due to the loan guarantee program, Coordinating Minister for Maritime Affairs and Investment, Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, stated that the guarantee program aims to help corporations amidst COVID-19 pandemic, maintain business continuity, and avoid further layoff waves. The minister reveals that the total guarantee fund distribution until end of 2020 to reach 100 trillion rupiah. In the same time, he hopes that all national economic recovery program, including social assistance distribution, working capital guarantee, interest subsidy for SME, will be well implemented in order to avoid negative economic growth and overcoming the unemployment rate and poverty. The government also expects the SOE banks to immediately distribute capital assistance. Previously, the government has distributed loan as much as 4.2 trillion rupiah for SMEs. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Due to National Economic Recovery Program, Ministry of Finance with Sarana Multi-Infrastructure has officially granted 10 trillion rupiah loan to Jakarta and West Java provincial government.
Due to the National Economic Recovery Program, Ministry of Finance with Sarana Multi-Infrastructure has officially granted 10 trillion rupiah loan to Jakarta and West Java provincial government. Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati said that the criteria for regions that want to get loan funds from the government in the context of national economic recovery are projects to move the economy in the region must be ready. And she hopes that the role of the regional head to supervise the funds must be optimally carried out.
Kriterianya adalah bahwa pertama terdampak COVID, ya seluruh daerah sebetulnya terdampak COVID. Kemudian mereka memiliki proyek-proyek yang memang sudah siap untuk disampaikan, untuk dilakukan eksekusinya. Dan sebetulnya kita melakukan beberapa apa yang disebut relaksasi seperti tadi dari DPRD-nya sehingga bisa dipercepat. Dan tentu adalah kita berharap untuk pengawasannya sebetulnya yang paling berkepentingan adalah kepala daerahnya supaya.
Meantime, the President Director of Sarana Multi-Infrastructure Edwin Syahruzad explained that Jakarta and West Java are qualified to accept a loan, especially on the prepared project. Sri Mulyani added that the Finance Ministry's pipeline, there are still a number of regions that want to play for loans, including Central Java, East Java, and Banten. The three regions are still in the stage of finalization. From Jakarta, Gilang Praditya for IDX Channel.
Through the second extraordinary G20 Sherpa meetings, official representatives of G20 member countries agreed to develop COVID-19 vaccines that are more affordable worldwide.
Not only to strengthen economic cooperations, but G20 countries also play a constructive role in supporting countries in dealing with COVID-19. Through G20 Sherpa meetings on the last Friday, member countries provided a stock take of progress on combating COVID-19. Hold the virtual meeting was addressing the COVID-19 pandemic and its impacts, which requires a strong global response. Deputy Minister of International Economic Cooperation's Coordinations, Rizal Afandi, stated that through second extraordinary G20 Sherpa meeting, official representatives of G20 member countries agreed to develop affordable COVID-19 vaccine for least developed countries. Indonesia representative underlined the country's cooperations is the main key to find vaccine. After that, the other important thing is regarding distributions. Vaccines supposed to be easy to distribute and available to all levels of society. From all sources for IDX Channel.
Here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the graphic close on market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic business and capital market channel. I'm Clara Antawidjaja. Have a nice evening and stay safe.
Pemirsa, polemik mengenai cukai plastik kembali mencuat di pertengahan tahun 2019 ini. Sebenarnya ini bukan hal yang baru, mengingat sejak tahun 2017 wacana mengenai cukai plastik sudah dimunculkan oleh pemerintah meski